The Locks was the grimiest group that was in hip hop. The I would give them the Locks the award for being the grimiest group in hip hop. What it do with your man Nico B Black Effect? I want to talk about the situation that's going on with the Locks and J Hood. You know, J Hood recently went on Math High for a show. It's a lot to unpack and learn from this situation as black men. J Hood recently went on the Math High for show and he told his story about everything that happened with him and D Block. We all know that if I grew up in that time, at that time I was very immersed in the rap music and hip hop, as a lot of us were, and I understood the culture. You know, there was a hip hop and our culture kind of meshed together. Art imitated life, and life imitated art in a way that was unique for for black people. This was unique, something that that a lot of times that's never happened before. Music doesn't like you don't music doesn't influence. Well, music, it does influence culture, but you don't have people like watching John Wayne or watching movies, watching something like media or a movie, and then thinking that that's what they should go do in real life. That's happened before on rare occasions, but the majority of people in the community were following this like this was something that we had to, like we were living this out, like it was basically very, very synonymous with our lives. So we were very immersed in hip hop. J Hood gave D Block, first of all, the Locks. We all know the history of the Locks, man. Now, Jada Kiss is dope. Styles P's dope. I like Chic. They all dope, you know what I'm saying, in their own right. But the Locks never were like megastars. They never made it to megastar level. And anybody who pay attention to hip hop, who is a student of hip hop, we know that that's the case. The Locks, first of all, they were writing for Puff. They came in. When I say that they the grimiest group, they'll go down to as being the grimiest group in hip hop. They dissed Biggie Smalls on his own song. They were dissing Biggie on his own song, and that by their own admittance. On some songs, they were dissing Puffy. You understand? Even though they wrote his raps, they were dissing him. They dissed Big on his own song. The Locks were looking for their opportunity, man. I get that, but see, Puff Daddy pretty much, had them in a vice grip as far as business goes, and you know how Puff played the game. He had before they knew it, Puff had them in all types of litigation headlocks, and he wanted them to basically take up the mantle of what Mace did. Mace came in and played the game. The same thing Biggie did. Biggie came in and played that role of being like that, being it was like the thug. Biggie was super hardcore, and then Puffy was just like that, like Flavor Flav to Biggie's Chuck D. And then Mace came in and they played Starsky and Hutch. But Mace wrote his raps. He gave him that been around the world lifestyle, that bop that he had. So the Locks, they didn't want to follow suit with that anymore. When Mace was at his height, the Locks were on their way out, and they ended up leaving. You saw that whole campaign, man. They had to take it to the radio, take it to the streets, and that's how much they wanted to get out of their deal. And again, when they were on the label, they were just playing the like number 4 role. They were just playing, but they were popular. Bad Boy itself was popular. But you had Puff Daddy, you had Little Kim, you had Mace, you had Black Rob in the game. Then you had them. You know what I'm saying? So you had a lot of acts. They didn't, and they didn't want to be a part of that again. The Locks at that time, no, they weren't. I'm pretty sure they weren't making that much money. I know they weren't. And doing shows, they weren't the headliners. So they did that. What they did, they cried to the streets, and I get that. That's fine. They ain't no. I would have, I can't say I wouldn't have did something similar. It's not because what they did was they leveraged the people's love for them into basically they put it in the court of public opinion, and basically got the people to, and again, that's how the culture affected the music. They had the people go to Puff Daddy and change the business because the Lock signed that stuff. They went, then Puff didn't have to go back and change. He didn't have to do nothing, but he went back and fixed them up. You understand? Just basically fixed them up. Gay, I don't know what else he kept or whatnot, but he allowed them to leave. He didn't want to keep them under contract, under duress. They wanted to leave. They wanted, I'm pretty sure he didn't give them all of their publishing back, man. He didn't. Puff Daddy not that type of guy. He's not giving them nothing. But he basically, without gaining some, he released them to get them out of his hair, and basically thought they was just gonna go flop somewhere. That's basically what he thought, you know. And they ended up, going out, and what revitalized them is when they became D Block. D Block, big, grabbed that moniker, and that imprint grabbed the streets. I said all that to say this: D Block. When you saw D Block, J Hood was a part of that. In that whole era, the mixtape era, because I remember it was only a few people putting it down in the mixtapes. You had Dipset, G Unit, D Block. Then you had Lil Wayne, who started coming out with and then you had the Gangsta Grills. But before the Gangsta Grills, you had Clue, DJ Clue, K Slay, the Drama King. You had Diplomats, the Dipset, Killer Cam, that Diplomats Volume 1. Them Diplomats Volumes, classics, man. Classics. Then you had the G Unit. All them albums were classics. No Fear, No Mercy. You had D Block. I remember that whole mixtape series where you had all of them had a mixtape. J Hood had his own mixtape. Styles had his own. Jada Kiss was coming out with one. Sheik had one. And they always they had that gritty setting to them. So I remember that vividly. But J Hood, what he did for them was very key. He allowed them to compete in the realm of the young niggas. See, rap is a young man's game, and at that time, niggas looked at the Locks, man. They were old niggas then. I'm just keeping it real. J Hood revitalized their energy for the young niggas in the streets, and they needed that. He was the one, it's the same thing. Joel Santana did that successfully for Dipset. See, Cameron was smart, but Cameron was already popping, but Joel's was the one who solidified the energy and the upcoming energy and the brand as being popping for the young niggas, for the upcoming generation to go further for the future. And J Hood, the Locks just didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know how to market, and I'm not going to say it's all they fought on that end, because, you can't make people like what they don't like. J Hood wasn't Joel Santana. You know what I'm saying? Not saying it, and J Hood was dope at the time. Like I said, the Locks was on some soup. At the time of the D Block mixtape era, they were on some super grimy, the Lock style then was, D Block style then, and this is everybody. J Hood, Sheik, Styles, and Jada was on they rapped like horror movie raps. You could say Styles called himself the hardest out. Those raps were how Hell Rail rap. Them niggas was talking like they was Jason Voorhees. They was catching 1,000 bodies a night. Moving major coke. They'll catch you, when they catch a nigga, they gonna cut his head out with an axe. And this is how they were talking. And J Hood fit right in there for the young niggas. He wasn't whack. That's one thing. That's one thing nigga can say. Niggas can't come and say J Hood was whack. You know what I'm saying? And so you had that. J Hood cultivated that young nigga energy, man. Now I'm not sitting here and saying that everything. I hadn't even got to the dragging the chain and nigga getting on stage with D Block. With G Unit. Because the thing is that after that, he was already gone. At that point, he was already done. And we have to remember, this is what I wanted the brothers to understand on this situation. So you had niggas want to say that they pay for studio time and all this, and niggas ain't got to pay it back. Well, if you didn't make the paperwork arrangement like how Puff Daddy would have done, then it's nothing for you to say. You can't bring that up as far as the locks. But this is what I'm saying. When his house burned down, and the man went and got his advance, or went and and they gave him, the label gave him some help, $60,000. They said they gave him to go take care of his family, get some things straight, man. Man, house burned down. You supposed to be his big homies. You his big homies. $60,000 trickle down. You take it. You take it and just go tell him, F him. You take it and divvy it up. F you. Oh, it's Joe Jerkin niggas. And you, that's foul, man. And no matter how time passed, you owe that man that money. I don't give a damn how long it's been. And if I was him and niggas ask me, and you ask, people be like, why is the nigga talking about it now? Why is the nigga doing? Obviously, because the shit hurt him, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Niggas be hurt behind that. And I hate why people talking like, why you ain't did nothing positive since then? Why you ain't? How you know the nigga hadn't did nothing positive, bro? Like, because he not in the music industry anymore? That's why I'm saying it's the internet shit, bro. Like, niggas ain't got to be in the music industry to be doing nothing positive with their life. Maybe he don't want to rap no more. You know what I'm saying? We already know what come with that, nigga. You gotta keep playing the game. Like, you gotta go through one or two doors there. Unless you just, inkle by the grace of God, you make it by the skin of your teeth. Like, you don't have to, you can carve out your own little niche. But we already know, like I said, the locks was down with Puff, man. Joe Jerkin niggas. The #1 jerk king. And he taught them the blueprint. This is why, like, my nigga Rizzy, man, shout out to him, man. And this was a dude who was with J Hood in the time when he was going against the locks during his whole F the Locks campaign or whatever. Like he say, man, them dudes, J Hood told him, and he just recently did an interview on Mikey T, and he was like, J Hood told him that after he told him the whole story of D-Block jerking him, D-Block, how they did him, took his money, as a real nigga, he was like, I'm ready to, man. I'm like, hell nah, man. Let's go, you know what I'm saying? Let's go get them niggas. Let's go at them niggas. I felt bad for the, like, he was like, I felt bad for the nigga. That's what the dude Rizzy said. And I respect that. Like, as somebody partner, somebody brother, somebody tell you that, yeah, you gonna feel away. You gonna be like, man, hell nah. And these the same niggas who got jerked by Puff, and they do you like that, bro. These the same niggas who went out and went to the public and cried out to him and was like, man, look, man, we need y'all to go to bat. Tell Puff to give us our shit, man. And you go and the man's house publicly get burned down. It was public because the nigga J Hood was on the news. They didn't want him to go on the news because it would have made them look bad. It would have made, how it would have made them look bad? It would have made them look broke. Because back in rap then, man, niggas was paying attention. You had to follow certain codes and criterias. One of the codes and criterias is like the mob, man. You got to hold your mens down and if tragedy happened. Especially when tragedy happened. That's how you know when niggas is with you or not. It was a lot of funny style stuff going on with them. And like I said, man, you could listen to the skit that the Locks did. It was called Joe Jerkin Niggas, and it's pretty telling because J Hood was he was a part of that skit, and he was the guy who they was jerking. That's a sad thing, man. It was like they played the nigga right in his own face. That was some crazy stuff. The skit was funny, and at the end of J Hood was talking at the skit, and he was like, the skit went like this. Sheik brought an artist which was J Hood, to Jada Kiss, and Jada Kiss was playing the guy Joe Jerkins. And he was like, yeah, daddy, we gonna get you a chain, daddy. We gonna get you this. We gonna get you we gonna get you to rent you a car. We gonna put you up in the house, man. Yeah, we Jay Jerking you, nigga. We got you, man. Just sign here. And he was like, man, I need to read the contract. And he's like, no, man, just sign it, man. And nigga Sheik was like, just sign it, bro. We ain't got time for that. Come on, man. Come on, dad. Let's get this money, man. And the nigga signed and he's like, man, so what? I'm finna blow? I'm finna blow up? He's like, hell nah, daddy, you ain't gonna blow. We gonna rape your publishing. We gonna rape your budget. We gonna rape your, yeah, you know what I'm saying? We raping you. That's how the skit went. And unfortunately, that's how his career went. They told him in plain sight that's what's gonna happen. And that's Puff's blueprint. You know, you tell people something in plain sight. You know, it's kind of like one of them sleight of hand tricks there. I'm giving you some game. Cause Puff did the same thing with them. Then he came out. Then the Mad Rapper skit was geared for them, for the Locks. So, but again, J Hood looked at them as family. And when you look at somebody as family, it's different against the criteria that was set of the culture. That's what Tupac was saying. Tupac was like, man, I live by the rules and etiquette that y'all set. The people who support hip hop, the black people, urban community, Hispanics, you know, everybody who support it, everybody, you know, who support the culture, even Caucasians. You expect a certain thing. Like, it's like if you saw Tony Soprano, you don't expect Tony Soprano to get on the stand and be like, and snitch on Paulie. You never, like, you don't expect that, do you? It's the same thing. You didn't expect, you know, you don't expect a nigga like Tupac to get on when he was alive. You didn't expect Tupac to see him pop up with Puff Daddy, you know, wearing some, you know, some makeup or some shit like that. You wouldn't have saw that. See, you wouldn't have never saw that. You understand? It was certain rules and etiquettes and codes that people live by. And when you were riding with your family, man, you ride with your people. You know, if your people is in some beef, then you in it. That's part of G Unit taught you that. That was the military mindset they was moving with. And that's how they was so strong. You know, if you in it, then you in it. You feel me? Same thing with the diplomats and the Dipset. That's how they were strong. And only time they became weak is when you had the division there. You know, when you started to have the division from protocol, you have the head, then you have the soldiers. You have the head. Diplomats had the structure pretty much intact until they broke it down. You had the head, Cameron. You had the capo. You had the young up and coming nigga Joel's Freaky Zeke was like the muscle. You understand? And everybody else played their role, man. And that was how it worked. That's how people got to be at the level that they were. You understand? But for when you are consider somebody to be family, like J Hood looked up to Sheik Luch, looked up to the Locks. When you consider them to be family and they do you dirty, you know, and it was brewing, all of the disgruntledness and was brewing in J Hood. Now I will say on J Hood part, man, you were impatient, bro. You did things the wrong way, and I understand. I know you understand that. At least he's taking accountability. He's taking accountability for the things that he did wrong. That's what only thing you could do as a man. Now, what I'm seeing is from the Locks, y'all don't want to take accountability, man. Y'all owe that man 60 G's. Just break him off his 60 if y'all got it like that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, if y'all such superstars like Sheik Luch talk about, you know, I'm in a different tax bracket and like you could just stun on the nigga J Hood. Well, break him off his 60 G's. Cause obviously, man, you know, they got what you call as receipts on this. And he can really, if he wanted to make us think about it, he could just go to the label and be like, you know, and start getting the trail of that paperwork. If he wanted to, he can get him an attorney. Because that's 60 G's, bro. Come up off that. If y'all got it. You know, that's between the three of y'all. That's 3 people. 20 apiece. Y'all know y'all took the man money. Don't try to say that it's like for the budget and after the fact, man. That's lame. To be like, oh, it was for this. Nah, we know that the Locks, they weren't mega stars. They never were mega stars. And I love, like I said, I love all my brothers. I love all of them. But we gotta get to the bottom of the truth, man. And I don't like the way how, you know, niggas try to make it seem like niggas ain't make no contribution, or they wasn't like J Hood wasn't a co-founder there, or he wasn't part of, you know, a big intricate part in revitalizing them. Because he was. I'm sorry, man. As a fan, I could tell you that was the case. You know? I was a young cat listening to D Block then, you know, and we were the young niggas was all they was rocking with J Hood, bro. Uh, but still, bro, like yeah, he did some things wrong after he got disgruntled and just got him. He got impatient. You got impatient, and instead of just holding it down, you know, just being like, look, man, I know, but I get that's hard. You know, while you seeing your peers bubbling, dropping albums, doing things, you know, that you know you should be able to do, you know, but the niggas that you rocking with, they just ain't really got it like that. And that's the thing you don't understand. It's like your pops, man. You might need some things from your pops. I don't fault my pops for the things he couldn't do. You understand? So I don't think that they knew. I don't think that he knew and understood that they just didn't have it like that. So, but I get what he's saying. Now you got to understand how you going to stay with somebody or I wouldn't even want to be around somebody who I know took 60 G's from me and don't give a shit. My house burned down. Niggas just still looking at me, expecting me to just come in and dap niggas up. I wouldn't want to do that. Like, come on, be human. Like, you know, use your human aspect. And I'm talking to the locks too. And quit trying to make it seem. And another thing, this is his truth to tell. You keep saying, why is he talking about it after years later? Well, because maybe he's so hurt by that type of stuff stick with you, and maybe that he understand that you took his 60 G's, and like I said, time don't erase none of that, bro. You owe the nigga his money. You understand? Because he could have did something with that, but y'all didn't give it to him. So why you saying he's still talking about it? He got two legitimate reasons. I'm pretty sure he got more, and for his own purposes, but that's it, and he's justified in doing that. And don't try to get mad at niggas who do interviews, man. Like, quit trying to get like Math off. If you gonna be a nigga who do interviews and rap journalism and you gonna try to capitalize off our wave and YouTube wave and things like that, then what I need you to do, man, is just put the work in and just do what need. Quit trying to have affiliations and still trying to be a street nigga. Oh man, I'm street. Man, bro, stop it, dude. That's what I need you to do. Please stop. And just keep in the interview and keep doing your interviews. Don't let these niggas shake you up, man. That's what happened in the industry back in the day. And the locks, again, bro, y'all should be ashamed because you know that that blackballing stuff was happening to y'all. Puff was putting y'all in a vice grip. And you went to the streets and was like, please, like, you know what I'm saying? Tell that nigga get his foot off our neck. And we helped y'all. You know what I'm saying? Niggas came to the rescue. And, put the fire on Puff. And I'm pretty sure he didn't give you everything that you wanted. But you should let this man live. Like, I know the nigga Sheik, I understand, bro. Like, you don't have to like the man. You say you don't like the kid. I get it. The nigga J Hood, like, I'm gonna get on this. When you drug the chain, hey, man, I get why. But yeah, that was some disloyal shit. Niggas was looking at that like, man, you being disrespectful. Like, they did put you on. Okay, I get that. Yeah. Like I said, he could have been more patient. But when you got niggas, taking your budget money, talking about, man, it's for, I needed that, or just don't even tell you nothing. Making skits, have you being a part of skits that's talking about Jay jerking, and you start looking and thinking, that causes a rift, man, and you're not gonna want to be there. But I will say, when you went on the stage with 50 Cent, man, they played you. Like, they played you on that one. Like, they was in the war with D Block, and that was 50 Cent was good at playing chess, bro. 50 Cent was a good leader. And he was good at playing chess, man. Nigga, they brought you on stage, nigga. As soon as you got, like, you was on there, you was looking like you thought it was, and it was love. Like, it was definitely love. But nigga, you didn't know this. Tony Yayo was finna come and blast that fuck D Block. You didn't know that he was gonna do that, did you? That nigga went right into the Welcome to Jamrock freestyle, wrecking that mug. Going all out. You get your hands up, give me that chain and that Jacob. One false move, you get sprayed up. Man, and nigga said, man, dog, I know J Hood was just like, he didn't know what to do. That was a great moment, man, for television. And they have that recorded. It's on the internet. But again, so I just wanted to give y'all, some wisdom there, man, from somebody who comes from that time and of the era. J Hood have all the right to talk about what he wanted, his truth, and I mean what happened to him, because he's a big intricate part of D Block. You understand? Of D Block. Now, and as far as going to Math Off and people who do interviews, you can't strong on them or try to shame them for doing what they supposed to do. And you can't have one foot in and one foot out. If you're gonna do interviews, do interviews. If you gonna rap and try to be down with the rap community, then do that, man. You can't do both. So with that being said, hey, salute to everybody, man. Peace and blessings to everyone. I hope one day maybe they could do a D Block reunion. Just pay the man his 60 G's. Y'all could get that back on some shows, because people would love to see a full D. Like, could you imagine that if they was able to do a full G Unit with Banks came back, man, even if they got Buck back, but they don't, that may not be the case. But if they did a full G Unit, a full Dipset, I'm talking about the Dipset, and I'm go get Hell Rail, go get J Hood, what's his name, J.R. Ryder, and they do it. Go get them, and a full D Block with the Locks and J Hood. That stuff will go, man. It'll sell. You could get your 60 G's back, but you owe him that. You should do him. You should do that tour with him. And if you can't give it to him out your pocket, you know what I'm saying? I understand y'all might not have it like that. And if you can't give it to him out your pocket, then you need to do the show with him. Quit talking crazy, trying to deter what he doing. Y'all make yourself look guilty. So with that being said, it's your man Nico B, Black Effect. I'm gone.